Well, hi everyone. Welcome to another podcast here at universityninja.com. Um, and today we're going to be talking about another article that we put up. And this one's called Use Your Strengths, Become a Superhero. And maybe it sounds confusing and you're not sure what it's about, but you know, you might want to take a read. It might be really important and it might be useful. So a couple of years I took this test, and it really was just an assessment to sort of figure out what types of strengths and talents you have. And at the time when I took it, I really didn't understand what the findings gave me until I actually went to a conference that really demonstrated what those strengths really meant and how they can be used in a team and group environment. Now, they do call it a strengths finder test, but the reality is they're not there to find your strengths particularly. What they're trying to do is to sort of highlight what your talents can be. And so I guess one of those things is sort of don't mistake it as like, well, those aren't my strengths. I don't see them as my strengths, but they really could just be talents or things that you have potential in that you just need to tap into. So one particular story I kind of wanted to mention, and it was something I heard during that conference, was there was a study done where they took below average 7th grade reading students, and they were reading roughly about 40 words a minute, and what they wanted to do was put them through a camp for a week to find out how much their reading would progress. And after that 1 week, their reading skills improved and they were able to read 150 words a minute, which isn't bad. However, when they took above average readers, students who did very well, that read 300 words a minute, after being in that 1 week camp, those students were able to read over 900 words a minute. And that is a drastic change in number. And the whole point is to really show that if you focus on your strengths and you work on them, they get even stronger. Point being, if you're working on things that you're weak at, they may never improve as well as if you just worked on the strengths that you already had, or the talents you already had. And that sort of makes sense. I mean, if there's something you're really good at, if you keep working at it, you'll only keep getting better. But if you keep working on your weaknesses and things that you're not really good at, you'll never ever get extremely good at that particular obstacle that you're trying to do, or task you're trying to accomplish. So a lot of college students aren't really sure what they want to do in life, and this test or this assessment won't tell you exactly the job you should be doing, but it can give you guidance into the things you may want to consider working in. And so, I mean, you can get this book for $15 online, and I think it's really worth the money to spend to take the assessment and to get feedback in terms of what your strengths can be. The biggest obstacle, though, is you can't just take the test without talking to somebody else about it. Usually you need somebody else to take the test with you, and usually someone needs to have information about it. Fortunately, our Career Center at UCI has people that are trained and have information about the Strengths Finder test. So hopefully if you're a college student, you could visit your local Career Center and talk to them about the test and see if they have information to sort of elaborate more and tell you more about your results. So how it works: you're going to take a very long test, about 30 to 40 minutes. You're just basically answering questions that aren't very difficult at all. They're not telling you to do math problems. For instance, one question could be like, are you the type that will want to go out to a party without knowing anyone there? Or are you the type that will hang out with a small group of friends? And those two questions will be shown, those two scenarios, and they'll tell you which one best fits you. So you'll either pick one side or the left side, or in between, meaning you kind of are both ways. I do recommend, however, that you pick more to the right or to the left. If you pick neutral throughout the entire test, you will not get a very good accurate reading of who you are. Also, you only have 20 seconds to answer a question, so you want to answer it very quickly. So the point is to not give you enough time to think about it, so it's mainly your first impulse, and that's a good thing. So here's the results that I got when I took the test for the second time. I got significance, relator, ideation, futuristic, and strategic. And you're like, well, what are they? Well, significance is simple. It's basically illustrating that you're the type of person that wants to, you know, be present in the eyes of others, and I guess people refer to you and talk to you when they need advice or help. A relator is someone who sort of picky about their friendships, as well as they tend to like to help people accomplish some of their goals and projects, and you find joy in helping your friends succeed. Ideation is someone that can just sort of figure out ideas and really create ideas on the spot and really get those things going. Futuristic is obvious. It's someone who's just futuristic. You think about the future, it fuels you. You tell people about your future. Anything related to always thinking about what can happen or what the future can hold for you. And strategic is just someone that can really, take time and think things through a problem, and then find a solution for it. So again, understanding your strengths, again, it's something you need to sort of talk about with people. There is information in the book, but it doesn't give you all the information you need. The real honest strength of the StrengthsFinder test is to use it in an organization. And if you're in an organization, using the StrengthsFinder assessment is a great way to see where people are balanced or not, or where they fall. For instance, if you look at the chart that we have here, you'll notice that the strengths are broken down from executive, influencing, relationship, and strategic thinking. And there is a total of 34 strengths that fall under these. So really, you want to see where people fall. If your strengths fall under executive, what that means is you're the type of person that gets stuff done, that can execute things and accomplish them. Someone who has influencing abilities is someone that can essentially influence others. It's pretty obvious. I mean, you're going to influence other people, you're believable, you can convince them, that kind of thing. So you have stuff like communication, command, woo, which means winning over others. So if you get the woo factor, the woo strength, it means that you have a good ability to win over others' trust. Very influential. And relationship is, you're good at building relationships. A lot of people are sometimes fall in harmony because they're the type that tries to avoid conflict a lot. You could be a relator, or have empathy, meaning you can feel other people's pain, or you can feel their problems too. Strategic thinking, all of these. If you fall into this area, it means that you really like to think things through before you act on it. So, what you want to have is a balance of all of these. You want to have strengths in all these different areas because that's a good thing. However, if you don't, you want to work with people that have strengths in other areas. So if you had everyone with strengths under strategic thinking, or maybe just influencing or relationship, you'll never get anything done. So you really want people with executive abilities in your organization that can really take the helm and get stuff accomplished. You can also use your strengths at the interview, and if you're applying for a job, the best questions that they always ask, or the most prominent one, is what are your weaknesses? What are your strengths? And now you can tell them, well, I took an assessment and here's what I found out. And so definitely this information can be useful. It can be sort of helpful in understanding what you want to do in your future. It can also help organizations, but the possibilities are endless. It's just that you need to sort of take the time and opportunity to really read it. And I think everyone should invest in that money to really just take the test. Sometimes you might be able to take it for free, so look into that if you're going to a school. Sometimes those opportunities do happen. Well, if you have any questions or comments about the specific article, or you'd like to suggest any other articles, or you'd like to write your own articles, you can contact us at ninjauniversity@gmail.com. Again, I hope you enjoyed the podcast today, and I hope you learned something new. Well, alright folks, have a good one.